waste any time. Later today I might have something to do, but anyway. Hello everyone, thank you all for stopping by. Today is May 10th, 2021. It is currently 12:31 p.m. in Los Angeles, California, in the United States of America. It is currently 66 degrees, so that's pretty... Oh. Wait, never mind, now it's there. 66 degrees Fahrenheit. Nice. So it's pretty cold today. I like cold weather, so that's good for me. But today we have a lot of more heavy stuff than usual to talk about. So unfortunately, none of this stuff is gonna be remotely any light information or light news. Some of the things we're gonna talk about are there was a shooting at a birthday party in Colorado. So we're gonna talk about that first, and later on we're gonna get into the Israel and Pakistan conflict that has been happening. I've wanted to talk about that before for a while, but I didn't have enough information and I wasn't really educated on the topic, so I didn't feel the need. Well, I didn't feel like I could speak on it because I wasn't really educated on that, and I didn't know there was really a conflict going on. I mean, I saw it was happening in the news, but I didn't know how bad it was. So we're going to talk about it because it's important. And, we're also going to talk about some stuff that's happening in Afghan. I believe Afghan is a capital in Afghanistan, I believe. But we'll get into that later. But for now, we're gonna start off on some light stuff. All of the news that I have so far that you can see at the top is information that I've gathered last night. So later in this stream, we'll look at more news that's happening today, and I could focus on that. But for now, I kind of just want to focus on the stuff that I've gathered since last night. So we're gonna get into it, okay? This is the first story that I want to talk about. This was posted yesterday by the Associated Press. So, man kills 6, then self at Colorado birthday party shooting. So apparently there was a guy, he ended up killing 6 people, and then he ended up killing himself, and it was at a birthday party. So, yeah, we're gonna talk about it, okay? Colorado Springs. A gunman opened fire at a birthday party in Colorado, killing 6 adults before killing himself Sunday, police said. By the way, I haven't read this, so yeah, I just want to keep that out of the way. I haven't read any of this yet, really. The shooting happened just after midnight in a mobile home park on the east side of Colorado Springs, police said. Officers arrived at the trailer to find 6 adults dead and a man with serious injuries who later died at a hospital. The Colorado Springs Gazette reported the suspect shooter was the boyfriend of a female at the party attended by friends, family, and children. He walked inside and opened fire before shooting himself, police said. The birthday party was for one of the people killed, police said. Neighbor Jennifer Reyes told the Denver Post she woke up to the sound of many gunshots. I thought it was a thunderstorm, Reyes said. Then I started hearing sirens. Police brought children out of the trailer and put them in at least one patrol car, she added. Adding the children were crying hysterically. Oh my god, man, what the fuck? Did that shit in front of kids? Are you fucking serious? Okay. Authorities say the children who weren't hurt in the attack have been placed with the relatives. Police on Sunday hadn't released the identity of the shooter or victims. Authorities say a motive isn't immediately known. My heart breaks for the families who have lost someone they love and for the children who have lost their parents. Okay. Colorado Springs Officer Chief Vince Niski, I think I'm pronouncing that right, said in a statement, it was Colorado's worst mass shooting since a gunman killed 10 people at a Boulder supermarket on March 22nd. I remember this. If you guys don't remember this shooting, we covered this last time when it was happening. Hello, Heidi, I think that's your name. Hi. We covered this shooting last time, and that was the worst one, but now this is another worse one. Jesus. The tragic shooting in Colorado Springs is devastating, Governor Jared. Police said Sunday, especially as many of us are spending the day with the women in our lives who have made us the people we are today. Oh, fuck. It was Mother's Day, dude. I forgot. Jesus. Fuck, dude. I completely forgot this happened on Mother's Day. Jesus, man. Okay. Colorado Springs population of over 400,000 people is Colorado's second biggest city after Denver. In 2015, a man shot 3 people dead at random before dying in a shootout with police in Colorado Springs on Halloween. Less than a month later, a man killed 3 people, including a police officer, and injured 8 others in a shooting at a Planned Parenthood clinic in the city. What a fucking asshole. At a Planned Parenthood, dude? At a Planned Parenthood. Alright, dude. Alright. Yeah, I don't know if I should look at the pictures. It's sad. So this is what the scene looked like at these homes near here. So I just wanted to talk about this because I saw this in the news recently, obviously. And because gun control, hello, I'm not going to skip past this and not talk about fucking gun control in this country. You know, everyone already knows by now that the United States has a terrible, terrible problem with gun control. And it's awful. So this is just another example. And this fucking asshole did this in front of kids, dude. I didn't know that. In front of kids. My God. I don't really know Colorado's laws and stuff on guns, but obviously it needs to change. I haven't heard any other news on it. This is the only thing that I found so far, but maybe later I'll dive more into it if I want to. But you already know almost every stream, there has to be at least one shooting that fucking happens in this country. And it's inevitable to happen here because the gun laws here are so fucking shitty. And just last stream, we were talking about how in fucking Texas, they're easing more gun laws, like letting people have open carry without a permit. Which is easily one of the stupidest fucking things I've ever heard. And you know, just red states are going fucking apeshit with the gun control. I'm pretty sure they just want everyone to have guns at this point, which is fucking stupid. But I'm done with this. I honestly don't know what else to say about this besides the fact that it's fucking sad. And little kids had to witness their parents being killed in front of them. So, like I said, the stories today, well, the news today isn't easy. All of them are pretty heavy, every single one of them. And we're going to move on from that. One of the big things that has been talked about lately, we're moving on. One of the big things I'm going to talk about is the Israeli-Pakistanian conflict. If you don't know what's happening in the Middle East, shit is popping off, basically. Alright, I wanted to cut, this news has been happening, has been pushed more towards the public in the United States for a few days. Unfortunately, I don't think a lot of news stations are talking about it, mainly because I don't think they have information, and specifically Pakistani people I don't think they really have the resources to publicly speak about what they're going through right now. And another reason why I didn't want to talk about this is because I didn't have enough information and I wasn't educated on the topic to talk about it. I didn't really know what was happening, but last night I did some research on what's happening. I kind of educated myself a bit. I'm not an expert on what's happening, but I kind of have a gist of what's happening. Long story short, this conflict has been happening in Jerusalem and in like Israel, the country in Israel. This conflict has been happening between Israelis and Pakistanians for a long time. This conflict has been around for decades, not thousands of years. I think a lot of people, and I don't think that's true. From what I've seen, this has happened for decades. For what I've seen, both of these people claim the same land, from what I could understand. I think it wasn't until the 20th century until problems really started happening a lot there. Again, if I'm getting something wrong, I'm sorry. Like, again, I'm not from that country. I don't really know a lot about the Middle East, but I'm trying my best. So if I get some information wrong or I'm butchering it, I'm sorry. Again, I'm not Middle Eastern, so I'm not really super educated on it. I'm trying my best, okay? So it was something like, yeah, both of them claimed the same land. And right now, specifically, what's happening is a lot of Israeli settlers are going to Pakistani homes and evicting them, beating them, and overall abusing them. And the military in Israel is also against Pakistanians there and also abusing them and causing harm to them, even though these people have lived there for years. Again, both of these people claim the same land, but it's obvious that the Israeli people have a upper hand over Pakistani people that are in that country. As we go on, I'll probably give more details, but again, we're gonna get into it already. So this is uploaded by the New York Times, and we're gonna read it. Evictions in Jerusalem become a focus of Israeli-Pakistanian conflict. The effort to evict Arab families from a contested neighborhood has drawn attention to the Israeli effort to remove Pakistanians from parts of East Jerusalem and led to protests. So, if you don't know, Jerusalem is inside of Israel, if you don't know. Again, I haven't read any of this, so if I stumble with my words, I'm sorry. Jerusalem. In confrontations with Pakistani protesters over the last week in Sheikh Jarrah, again, I'm sorry if I pronounced these names wrong, I swear. A Pakistani neighborhood in East Jerusalem, the Israeli police sprayed so much skunk water, noxious liquid used to deter demonstrators, that its stench lingered over nearby streets. Yeah, I heard about this. So basically, the Israeli police is basically spraying like this nasty, mucky, like nasty smelling water on Pakistanians so that they just smell. And, another form of abuse by the Israeli police. The symbolism of the neighborhood extends much further. In the space of a week, Sheikh Jarrah has become one of the centerpieces of spiking tensions between Israelis and Pakistanians in East Jerusalem, and has galvanized Pakistanians and their advocates across the world, from the Pakistani leadership in Ramallah, Ramallah, and Gaza, the lawmakers and officials in nearby Jordan and faraway Washington. On Monday, the Israeli Supreme Court is set to decide whether to uphold the eviction of 6 families from the neighborhood in favor of Jewish settlers. So, I'm going to try to break it down the best I can. So again, Jewish settlers are going to these people's homes, and forcing them out of their own fucking house. It's like if you're living in your house, right? It's your house. You've lived there for years. And just some people roll up and they're like, yeah, this is my house now. You have to leave. And it's like, motherfucker, this is my house. What are you talking about? But even if you try to call the police or the military to help you, the military and police in Israel is against you. So you're going to be evicted either way. There's no winning for you. And apparently, I think the Israeli people call it ethnic cleansing or some bullshit like that. It's fucking crazy. And again, these 6 families are not the first. Thousands and thousands of Pakistani people are going through this. They're being evicted from their homes from Jewish settlers, Jewish terrorist settlers, and are forcing them out of their homes. This is not new. Again, this has been happening for decades. For years, this has been happening. This isn't suddenly new, but just because it's not new doesn't mean it doesn't matter. It's just that now I think more people are kind of paying attention to it. The decade-old legal battle over the fate of a few dozen Pakistanians, which Israeli officials dismiss as a real estate dispute, has become more emblematic of a wider effort to remove thousands of Pakistanians from strategic areas in East Jerusalem and stand in for the whole decade-long Israeli-Pakistanian conflict. So yes, basically Israel's don't want Pakistanians there. They don't want them there anymore. Which is fucking stupid because I'm pretty sure their families over decades of generations have lived there. And again, both of these people claim the same land. They don't want Arabs here or across East Jerusalem. Said, I'm not reading that name. I'm sorry. I will butcher that name to a fucking crisp. 71-year-old Pakistani facing eviction during a protest this week. They want to expel Arabs, and the way they would do that, and they will be able to surround the old city. Jesus. The contested ancient core of Jerusalem that contains sites sacred to Jews, Muslims, and Christians. Yeah, so basically, a quick history lesson. I think it was in the 1900s. Jewish people, Muslims, and Christians lived on that land in peace. They lived on that land in peace, and to my understanding, it wasn't until, I think it was, when was it? I think it wasn't until, I think a long time ago, Israelis kind of said, Judaism or whatever is no longer a religion, and they wanted it to be a nationality, so they started immigrating to that spot because they thought that was their best chance in the Middle East to get their own independence or something along those lines. Again, I am butchering this, but I'm trying my fucking best. And I think it was until World War I when that place fell. Like, it used to be known as the Ottoman Empire, and it fell, I think, in World War I, if I'm getting that wrong. And after World War I, the empire fell, and that's when some British took over. It's a long history, okay? Again, I'm sorry. It's a lot of information to pack in. But obviously, this conflict is still going on. Protesters have gathered nightly in Sheikh Jarrah over the past week, clashing with riot police and far-right Israeli groups. Battles erupted on Friday night inside of Ikonik Apsqua Mosque compound as thousands of worshippers leaving Friday prayer threw stones at Israeli police officers who threw stun grenades and fired rubber-coated bullets, wounding more than 150 people. This video shows grenades landing inside of prayers' homes. Okay, we'll watch this. I have some videos lined up to see, but yeah, it's disturbing. So, okay, images of police protesting over the sharp criticism from sympathetic members of Congress, as well as the Jordan government, which controlled East Jerusalem until 1967. Again, this is a long history, but it all still comes into play later. Well, now it comes into play. As they prompted an enormous threat from the military wing of Hamas, the Islamic group that rules Gaza Strip, which has promised that the enemy would pay a very heavy price if measures against the Sheikh Jarrah residents were not halted. Jewish settlers and right-wing Israeli activists are also taking a stand there. They say Pakistani residents are squatters, and that district, which is built beside the tomb of the Jewish high priest, was Jewish until 1948. So here you can see how, like, again, they're fighting over whose land it is, who belongs there, all of that stuff, you know. Again, I'm trying my best to be careful with my words and with my opinions because again, I don't know a lot about it, but yeah, I'm gonna try to keep my opinions to myself. I would ask you, said Ray King, a settler leader and deputy major of Jerusalem, if you are not the owner of the property and somebody is squatting on your property, wouldn't you have the right to take them out of your property? Bro, what? Okay. Then who does he think is the owner? Like, these people, that's their house. What are you talking about? That's their house, my guy. That is their house. Pakistanians where they live, that is their house. They're the owner of that property, right? That's their house. That's their houses. And you're just, people are kicking them out. Hundreds of East Jerusalem residents have gathered in Sheikh, again, I am butchering this fucking name, Torah each night for the past week to argue the opposite. The vigils often begin with outdoor iftar meals, making the end of the daily Ramadan fast. What fucking assholes, dude. Followed by protesters and dancing, accumulating in clashes with police. Jesus. Police have charged them on horseback, sprayed them with skunk water, and thrown stun grenades. Cars have been burned, guns drawn, scores arrested. Last month, a Jewish member of the parliament from a predominantly Arab party was beaten by police. On Thursday night, a far-right lawmaker, Itamar Ben-Gvir, I'm horrible at pronouncing names, set up a makeshift office opposite a home listed for eviction, setting off a brawl between protesters and settlers. The United Nations and European Union have expressed alarm. Wow, barely now? No, not barely now. That's pretty fucked up. But like, what do you mean? You're acting like this didn't exist before. We're deeply concerned about the heightened tensions in Jerusalem. The State Department spokeswoman Jalina Porter said Friday, calling for calm to de-escalate tensions and avoid violent confrontation. Bro, shit has been tense in Israel for years. For years there's been tension there. Okay, the Israeli government has tried to play down the conflict. Jesus Christ, man. Alright. Describing the case as private matter between the Arab families who moved to the neighborhood in the 1950s and the settler groups whom Israeli courts have ruled are legal owners of the family's homes. Okay, so this is a pretty good sum up of what's happening. Okay, in a statement on Friday, the Israeli Foreign Ministry said the Pakistani Authority and Pakistani terrorists were presenting a real estate dispute between private parties and a nationalistic, bro, I cannot read, cause in order to incite violence in Jerusalem. What are you talking about? What do you mean? That's their fucking house. That shit's crazy to me, dude. Okay. There have been small weekly protests in Sheikh Jarrah for years, but the conflict has exploded over the past week as the Supreme Court neared its decision. The escalation comes against the backdrop of rising tensions in Jerusalem. In April, the police restricted gatherings at a popular square in East Jerusalem, prompting clashes and demonstrations there. Far-right Israelis later marched through the city center chanting "Death to Arabs" amid mob attacks by Jewish and Arab groups. Bro, I think that's what it is. Hold on. I just wanted to put that a little bit lower. That's basically what this is. I think it's stupid. I think they're hiding behind this notion of that I'm fighting because this is my land or whatever the fuck, and like Arabs don't belong here, when really this is just what it is. Like, just straight up, just say that you're like racist or something. Just say that you don't like Arabs. That's it. Instead of hiding behind the notion of this is my land, so I have a problem with it. It's like, no, just say you don't like Arabs and you hate them, because this is a pretty death to Arabs. That's basically what it is. Like, don't hide behind that dumbass argument. This is my land. It's like, motherfucker, both of you guys lived there since like the 1900s, your ancestors, or wherever the fuck you're from. And it's kind of crazy because I think it was, when was it? I think it was in World War II when a bunch of European Jews immigrated to Israel because of World War II, what was happening and stuff. So like, I don't know. I don't know if you catch my drift of what I'm trying to say, but again, I'm not going to bluntly say it because I'll probably get in trouble. The recent post blah 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 Pakistan elections have added to Arab frustration. The tension has compounded by a power vacuum in Israel, which is without a permanent government after inconclusive decisions in March and several gun battles in West Bank over the past week. On Friday, Israel officials said troops had killed 2 armed Pakistani militants and wounded a third, who had attempted to enter Israel from the West Bank and fired on Israeli soldiers. Okay, analysis fear the tension could boil over on Monday when the Supreme Court is expected to rule on the Sheikh Jarrah case. The hearing coincides with Jerusalem Day, the annual Israeli celebration of the capture of the eastern half of the city in 1967, which pro-settlers groups typically mark with the provocative march through Arab areas. The dispute in Sheikh Jarrah originates in the 19th century when historic Palestinians was under the Ottoman rule. See, this is what I was talking about in the 1900th century. Yeah, thank you. 2 Jewish trusts bought a section of the neighborhood from Arab landowners in 1876. Jordan captured the area along with the rest of East Jerusalem in the Arab-Israeli War in 1948. About a dozen of homes there to house some of the hundreds of thousands of Pakistani refugees who had fled from what became Israel. Israel captured the territory in 1967 and annexed East Jerusalem, later returning ownership to the Sheikh Jarrah homes to the Jewish Trust. They sold it to the right-wing settlers group, which had tried to evict the residents ever since. Okay, so they bought a section of the neighborhood from original Arab landowners in this year. Okay, and they captured the area. Okay. So this is what I'm understanding so far. Again, this is a learning experience, okay? We're learning this together, okay? So in the 19th century, 2 Jewish trusts bought a section of a neighborhood from original Arab landowners in 1876. But during the Arab-Israeli War in 1948, Israelis took the land and they took the rest of East Jerusalem in the war. Yeah, so this section of the neighborhood was bought from Arabs, but the rest of East Jerusalem was stolen and taken from Arabs in the war. Okay, got it. And yes, I say take and steal, okay? It's a fucking war. That shit happens. So I see it as that. I see it as taking and stealing. That's how I see it. And if you have a problem with that, then I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Okay, Israeli captured the territory in 1967. Okay, we already read this. Yeah. So they basically, okay. Blah, blah. After returning ownership to the Jewish Trust, they sold it. Okay. So it was just passed down to right-wing settler groups in Israel. Jewish right-wing settlers. Technically, to me, it's still the Arabs' land. I mean, that's how I see it. But in the end, it doesn't fucking matter because you're evicting people from their homes. So it doesn't matter. You don't do that. It's not your land anyway. What are you talking about? Okay. In 1982, the Palestinian residents signed an agreement accepting Jewish ownership of the land and allowing them to live there as protective tenants. Okay. But they have since rejected the agreement, saying they were tricked into signing it. Yep, that seems like it. They got. Some now dispute the Jewish ownership of the property. They have produced their own Ottoman era land titles. They say undermine claims of historic Jewish ownership on at least one part of the land. But the settlers say there's no question the property was bought by Jews in the 19th century. They say Jews' presence here is adequately gives them the right to the city and pre-punity. Yeah, dude, it was a neighborhood was bought, not the entire area of East Jerusalem. All right, you guys bought a section of the land. The rest of it was stolen and taken from them in the war. From what I understand, okay? I want Jerusalem to be Jewish, said Yantana Yosef, a Jewish settler in Sheikh Jarrah and a former spokesman for the area's settlements. The land belongs to the Jewish nation, to the Jewish people. Well, no, it doesn't, because a long time ago, all Christians, Jews, and Arabs fucking lived there in that land peacefully together. So I don't think it is yours. But go off, brother. Go on. Go off. Several families on the street have already been replaced by settlers, while another has shared its home with settlers since they took over half of it in 2009. Okay. Peace Now, an activist group that campaigns of a two-state solution to the conflict, estimates that about 200 homes housing more than 3,000 Palestinians in strategic areas near the Old City are under threat of eviction, while 20,000 Palestinians homes across the city are under the threat of demolition. Okay. Pakistanians and rights activists say the evictions are a part of a wider strategy of reinforcing Jewish control over East Jerusalem. I mean, basically, because Jewish people, Israelis already almost do control all of it. So, of course, they just want to finish the job. So, yeah. The area that Palestinians hoped will be the capital of the future Palestinian state. Yeah. Okay. An urban master plan published by the Jerusalem authorities in 2004 explicitly set a goal of keeping the Arab population of the city at 30%. In reality, the ratio has risen to closer to 40%. See, it's so obvious. They just don't want Arabs there. That's it, because they don't like them. They're just saying, we don't want you here because you're different, and we're going to pretend that we're mad because of the land, even though in reality we just don't like you because you're different from us. And even Americans act like that, okay? Like, Americans are the same fucking way. In like really small areas like that are conservative and stuff, like white people who are like super racist, they wouldn't want black people to move into their neighborhoods. They wouldn't want that. They say, no, it's for white people only. It's the same energy, okay? It's the same energy. Today's city leaders disagree about whether the evictions amount to the strategy of demographic change, but Mr. King, the deputy mayor, said, of course, they are part of a wider strategy of installing layers of Jews throughout East Jerusalem. Okay. What is this? Car belonging to a Jewish settler. Yeah, bro, they're just destroying all of their shit, all of their belongings. That policy, Mr. King said, is the way to rescue the future of Jerusalem as Jewish capital for the Jewish people. If we will not be in big numbers, and if we will not be at the right places in strategic areas in East Jerusalem, he added, then the future peace negotiators will try to divide Jerusalem and give part of Jerusalem to our enemy. Pakistanians and other advocates consider the evictions coupled with restrictions on building permits, which force Pakistani residents of Jerusalem to either leave the city or to build legal housing vulnerable to demolish orders, as a kind of ethnic cleansing. It's a land grab, said Sami Abu Deyeh, I'm trying to pronounce that right, owner of the Ambassador Hotel in Sheikh Jarrah, some of whose land has been confiscated by the Israeli state in a separate case. They are stealing land left and right. See, bro, this is their hotel, bro. This is literally their fucking hotel that they run. And the government over there, the Israeli state, is basically like, no, this is mine now. Even though you own it and you run this hotel and it's yours and it belongs to you, we're gonna take it. Because we can. What is this? Colonism or whatever the fuck? Typical shit. And by the way, if you don't know, like, what the Israeli state is doing to them is for sure fascism. That's like for sure fascism. It just screams in your face fascism. A spokesman for the United Nations High Commissioner of Human Rights, Rupert Colville, I'm not pronouncing that right, said Friday that the evictions would violate Israelis' obligations under the international law prohibiting the forced transfer of residents from occupied territory. If the court rules in favor of the landlords, the question remains what happens to the Pakistani residents who could evict as soon as next week. Israeli law allows Jews to reclaim ownership of land they vacated in 1984. Was this hold on, let me go back. I want to get this right, even though I'm most likely probably not. Yeah. Because look, in the war, they captured the territory in 1967. Okay. I'm trying to make sense of it, alright? Okay. Oh, shit. No. No. Okay, but denies Pakistanians' right to reclaim property since they fled from in the same war. What do you mean? They were forced to flee. There was a fucking war. What the fuck did you expect them to do? Just to stay there? You'd be like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna stay here and get bodied while there's a war happening. Okay, Mr. Scott Fee, the Shakir resident, said his family lived in West Jerusalem before 1948, but has no legal resources to reclaim the property. It's the height of racism, he said shortly before the police fired another barrage of skunk water nearby. Jews can get back their properties, but not Arabs. Yeah, dude. But the blah blah Hassan Nahum, a deputy mayor of Jerusalem, said the discrepancy was necessary to preserve Israel's Jewish character. This is a Jewish country, she said. There's only one, and of course there are laws that some people may consider as favoring Jews. It's a Jewish state. It is here to protect the Jewish people. Motherfucker, in history, Arabs lived there too. Both of y'all lived there, with Christians too. 3 of you guys lived there. It's not a Jewish, I don't think it's a Jewish state. Alright, just a bunch of Jews immigrated there and claimed their independence there. Because they wanted, what's that word called? Fuck, there's a word for it. It's, Zionism. Zionism is the movement or the thing that happened where Jewish people wanted to be known. It was more than a religion, that it was a nationality. And you guys moved to the Middle East because that was your best chances to get independence, and they kind of did. They did succeed in that. But, like, it's not just for you. Like, a lot of people live there, not just Jewish people. It was also Arabs and Christians who lived there. In the 19th century, all of you lived there in peace. And, you know, colonialism, whatever the fuck you call it, took over. And that's it. Okay, so that's like your history lesson mixed with that. All right, we're gonna talk about the protests and stuff. All right, we're not done with this. We're gonna talk about this for a hot minute because it's important. Clashes between Palestinians, Israeli police in Jerusalem leave many injured. So yeah, right now, like, again, we have all this history, and they're fighting. You know, Israelis are forcing Arabs to leave their homes, even though they've lived there and they own the house, but apparently they don't own the land, which is, I think, bullshit, but whatever. and force them to leave. Again, bro, just say you don't like Arabs. Just say that like you don't like Muslim people. That's all you have to say. That's it. Not, this is my land. You know, like, I don't know. Violence, which has been going on for over several nights, continued in Jerusalem as Pakistanians clashed with Israeli police on Saturday, leaving many injured. Protesters threw rocks and water bottles at police. Officers responded with rubber bullets, stun grenades, and water cannons. Around 100 Pakistanians were injured during the clashes, according to the Palestinian medics. Most of injuries resulted in rubber bullets and stun guns. CNN reports citing, police said some officers were wounded as well during the unrest. Aw, poor police officers. I'm so sad for them. Aw. Aw. Tens of thousands of Muslims worshippers gathered for prayers in the Al-Asquiq mosque. I think I'm saying that right. Mosque in Jerusalem's Old City on Saturday to mark the Night of Destiny, the holiest night in Islamic calendar. But outside the gates outside of the mosque compound, Palestinians skirmished for a second night on a row with Israeli police. Over 200 Palestinians and several Israeli police officers were wounded during Friday night's clashes. The unrest follows weeks of sporadic violence between the Israelis and Palestinians over the possible evictions of Palestinians from land claimed by Jewish settlers. What do you mean possible evictions? They are being evicted. What are you talking about? Possible evictions. There is video evidence of Pakistanians getting fucking forced out of their homes by the military, by the police, and by Jewish settlers. Everyone is against them. What are you talking about possible evictions? It is happening. Whatever. This article was posted like a few days ago, so I'm not trying to go in too hard. More clashes are expected on Monday when Israeli ultra-nationalists hold their annual Jerusalem Day march. The parade, which Associated Press said was approved by the police on Sunday, dispute the current tensions, will pass through parts of East Jerusalem. Yeah, you already know this shit is not going to end well. I think that's today, no? Today's Monday. Which was captured and annexed by Israel in 1967 Mid-East War. On Friday, Israeli settlers and Palestinians clashed on a street in East Jerusalem neighborhood in Sheikh Jarrah, where Palestinian families are fighting a court-ordered eviction. Imagine that shit, dude. It's like me living in my apartment right now, and motherfuckers just come up and they're like, yeah, you have to leave because this land isn't yours. It's like, motherfucker, I pay rent. Like, what? Leave me alone, dude. I know it's not the same thing at all, but I don't know, bro. It's just fucking crazy. A long-running legal battle over the eviction has reignited conflict in recent days. Israeli Supreme Court delayed its ruling on whether to evict Pakistani residents from the properties of Jewish settlers and settlers are claiming as their own. The court was set to announce the ruling on Monday. I think this is today, right? I think when was this posted? On the 9th? So yeah, today, actually, yeah. Today's the 10th. The United Nations called on Israel to halt evictions of the neighborhood. The U.S. is also opposing the evictions of Palestinians and has urged calm. The State Department said it was deeply concerned about the heightened tensions. It is critical. By the way, the U.S. isn't squeaky clean here either, and we're gonna talk about that, okay? Don't think the U.S. is the good guy here, okay? The U.S. is not, don't think that. It is critical to avoid tensions take us further away from peace. A department spokesperson said in a statement, and as we head into sensitive period of days ahead, it is critical for all sides to ensure calm and act responsibly to de-escalate tensions and avoid violent confrontations. How the fuck are they supposed to do that when the Jewish state is obviously trying to get Arabs out of the country? How? You'd feel attacked too. It's like, I don't know how to explain it to you. That's fucking crazy. Alright? We're gonna look at some videos and shit that have been happening, alright? As examples of what's happening, okay? Did I open this? Blah, blah. Okay, yeah. We'll watch this too. Okay. From what I heard a while ago, there was I think the far right terrorist group in Islam or whatever, during Ramadan, which is one of the holiest days for Muslim people who are fasting, you know, because for their religion. I heard that they were inside of a church and they just got fucking bodied. Like, they were throwing bombs in there and like all this other crazy shit. But we're gonna look into that right now, okay? So we'll look at this after. Was this Israeli forces are throwing stun guns, stun grenades, and shooting rubber bullets at Pakistanians inside of side of a mosque. Effectively trapping them inside. Dozens are wounded and medics are not allowed through to treat the injured. So this was on May 7th, alright? This was on May 7th, so this wasn't fucking like long ago. This was literally on Friday. Today's Monday. This happened just a few days ago. So they're inside of the church, they're inside of the mosque, you know what I mean? And the Israeli police are just going off on them. Jesus, I haven't seen this. Fuck, I hope it doesn't show some... Okay. Alright, so as you can see, they're just abusing them. Basically, that's what it is. How is this not going to be by every nation on the planet? Dude, because, like, people, what? People don't care. Beyond appalling, blah, blah. Bro, and I hate reading Twitter replies because Twitter's fucking cancer, but we're going to do that anyway. I can't help myself. What is this? Pakistani resident of Sheikh Jarrah in occupied Jerusalem tried last night to enter her house, which was taken over by colonial settler organizations. She engaged in a wrangling with considered occupants too. Yeah. So people like this are just having their homes taken away from them. And they kicked her out of her own house. They kicked her out of her own fucking house, dude. It's her house. And Jewish settlers was like, dude, it's free real estate. It's free real estate. It's mine now. See, she's saying like this, dude, this is my fucking house. What are you doing, dog? What are you doing? Bro, I have no idea what the fuck these people are saying, but it's pretty obvious they're arguing. It's not their house. Motherfucker, how are you gonna tell her to calm down when you're literally invading her house? This is like some crazy, like, colonial terrorism shit, bro. You're stealing her house. Kicking her out of her own home and you're telling her to shut up? Bro, that's fucking crazy to me. Bro, I'm sorry. If that was me, I would have just punched him in the fucking face. My temper is not... I have a really bad temper, dude. I wouldn't... Okay. Bro, and where the fuck... They have nowhere to go. They're just kicked out of their own house, dude. Oh, shit. See how they are, bro? What the fuck? That's fucking crazy. How the fuck can they enter her house? Bro, by force. What do you mean, how? How could it be done? How does his family get their home back? Bro, I don't know. I have no idea. We're gonna watch this video. Israel gets so much financial and military aid from the U.S. and sometimes yeah. This is what I was talking about. Remember when I said that the U.S. isn't fucking squeaky clean here? The United States has, for many years, has been an ally with Israel, giving them money and military weapons and shit, like this person just said. This is true. Referred to a blah, occupying, yeah. So the U.S. isn't like a fucking good guy here. I mean, it's fucking rare when the U.S. is the good guy, which I don't think ever happens. But, yeah, like I said, the U.S. isn't fucking innocent here. Our country has given Israel so much shit. Money, military weapons, everything, because we're allies. Which is fucking crazy. What is this? Your stuff for carrying me? Ugh, I don't know if I want to watch this. Okay. Alright. I don't want to... Jesus Christ, man. Alright, so that's like... Oh, we're gonna watch this one too. This girl is her video got really popular. I already seen it before, but we're gonna watch it again. Well, I'm gonna show you it. If you haven't already seen it. It was pretty popular. So, apparently from what I know, this motherfucker flew in from Brooklyn, from the United States, all the way over here, just to be like, yeah, this is my home now. Like, this is my house. It's free real estate. From what I understand.
You are stealing my house.
And if I don't steal it, someone else is gonna steal it.
No.
You hear that American ass accent, dude?
No one is allowed to steal it, يا عمي. Jacob, you know this is not your house.
Yes, but if I go, you don't go back. So what's the problem? Why are you yelling at me? I didn't do this.
What do you mean you didn't do this, motherfucker? You're trying to steal part of her house. What are you talking about, dude?
But
It's easy to yell at me, but I didn't do this.
you are stealing my house.
I didn't do this. I'm obviously not the one sitting here trying to steal your fucking house. So yeah, just kicking them out of their own house that is theirs, that they've lived there for generations. It's not like they're new there. It's like, bitch, they've lived there. Like, their ancestors are from there. What are you talking about?
You are stealing my house.
And if I don't steal it, someone else.
Yeah. So yeah. Those are just some examples of what's happening. So this guy is getting some airtime on national television. I think this is American television. His name is Mohammed. Says Israel is doing everything it can to terrorize Palestinians while Jewish settlers can walk around our neighborhoods, steal our homes, and wield their guns. We're gonna hear this, what he has to say, because it's not often when Pakistanians get to go on national television and get to say what's happening to them.
We welcome all of the international condemnations that we are seeing from countries, be it the United States or otherwise, but we want more than just condemnations. We want Israel to be held accountable for its crimes against Palestinians. The Biden administration and the language of a false equivalency continue to uphold this occupation. I think you can de-escalate the situation and the tension and the violence in Jerusalem by ending the occupation. That is the only solution. It is insane for Palestinians to continue living under this occupation for 73 years. What's the situation in Jerusalem isn't that there's a Palestinian Authority and other Palestinian parties involved. There's Palestinian people, grassroots individuals without any kind of leadership who are finally saying no and continually saying no to ethnic cleansing in Jerusalem and otherwise. And there's an occupier, an occupying entity that is using brute force and fascism and apartheid to suppress any kind of peaceful protest or any kind of protest altogether. In the past 2 weeks, our neighbors' homes and our own homes have been sprayed with skunk water that I can smell them from a few blocks. We've had so much stun grenades and tear gas. My own brother, not that he's different from other people, but my own brother has been arrested. Many people have been arrested. A person lost his eyes in Al-Aqsa Mosque. We are seeing the Israeli government terrorizing Palestinians. We are seeing the Israeli government literally doing everything it can to terrorize Palestinians, whereas Israeli settlers can just walk around our neighborhoods, steal our homes, and wield their guns, no questions asked whatsoever. They can invade our homes and be told all is good by a police officer, and they can just go back, no consequences. There's clear asymmetry here. I think apartheid is an understatement, but it's a good starting point. This settler colonialism in Palestine must stop because it's killing all of us.
So yeah, that's just a small clip of one guy saying what's happening in their country, and thousands of Palestinians are going through this, or even worse. All right, we saw the videos of protesters getting beaten the fuck up by Israeli police and Israeli military soldiers. They're kicking people out of their homes, attacking the residents that live there, attacking Arabs that live there, that is their fucking home, and claiming that it's theirs. Jewish settlers are saying, nah, this is my house, dude. It's like, no, it's not. It's their house. It's baffling to me. What? What's not right about? Oh, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? So yeah, this is what's been happening, okay? We'll most likely dive deeper into this in a little bit later. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do it right now. Who cares? I'm gonna do it right now. Give me a second. So it's trendy. You can see a lot of people. We're gonna talk about this more. Okay, I'm not done yet. Fuck it. I'm just do it right now. Hundreds injured after violent clash between Palestinians and police at mosque. Okay, yeah. Yeah. We already know all this. Palestinians and the police clash. Okay, over 200 people. Yeah. Today, right? This was today? Okay, so like shit's fucking popping off there. So this is a mosque. This building is a mosque where a lot of Muslim people go to practice their religion. And 15 hours ago, like, they're just fighting. Holy fuck, that's loud. Jesus Christ.
Allahu Akbar.
So yeah, just a small clip of what's happening. That's 25 seconds. It's fucking crazy. Blah blah. What is this? 100 Palestinians injured in violent clashes with police officers inside of a mosque on compound outside. Yeah. Bro, it's fucking crazy. Teams managed to provide medical assistance. Jesus. So yeah, shit is really popping off over there. It's fucking crazy. Alright? So that's all the information I have. I don't really know what else to say besides the fact that it's fucking awful, obviously. It's shitty, and it's really sad that Pakistanians have to be forced to leave their homes and to go through all this suffering and get beaten up by police and soldiers. Like, they're in a losing battle here. They have no upper hand. And when they fight back to have basic civil human rights, they get punished for it. Again, like, the people there, like, just say you don't like Arab people. Just say you don't like... Just say you don't like Muslim people. That's it. That's it. That's all you have to say. There's no, this is my land, this isn't yours. It's like, no, dude. Just say you don't like them. This is just racism. That's really that's all it is. And the United States is an ally with Israel. And the best thing that the United States did was fucking say, they should be calm over there. Like, yeah, dude, okay. Now, look, I do not think the United States specifically is going to do anything to help Pakistanians there. I highly doubt it. I don't think so at all. I have no expectations for the United States because if I set expectations for my country, I know they're not going to meet them. They're not going to help. I already know that. And I'm sorry if that sounds fucked up, but I highly doubt it. Look, dude, the United States is allies with Israel. Okay? I don't think they're going to do much of anything. I don't know what's going to happen to these people, but I'll try to cover it next time if something else happens. Again, I'll keep my eye out for it because this is a big deal that's happening in the Middle East. And it's awful. Okay? But I'm going to move on away from this because I have nothing else to say about it. I've already spent a long time on it, so I'm going to move on. We're going to move on to this. I don't know much about this at all. So, I don't really know what the fuck's happening, but we're going to find out. Bomb near school in Afghan capital kills at least 50 people. So, again, I don't know what this is, so we'll see. Grieving families buried their dead Sunday following a horrific bombing at a girls' school in Afghan capital that killed 50 people. Many of the pupils between 11 and 15 years old. Fuck. Again, dude. Okay. Jesus. The number of wounded in Saturday's attack climbed to more than 100, said Interior Ministry spokesman Tariq Arian, I don't know how you pronounce that. In the western neighborhood, of this, I'm not pronouncing that. Families buried their dead amid angry recriminations at a government they say has failed to protect them from the repeated attacks in mostly Muslim neighborhood. Okay. The government reacts after the incident. It doesn't do anything before the incident, said Mohammed, a 41-year-old who had gathered to bury his niece, Latifa, an 11th grade student. Jesus, okay. 3 explosions outside the school entrance struck as students were leaving for the day, said Arian. Okay, the blast targeted Afghanistan's ethnic hazards who dominate the Dasht-e Barchi neighborhood. There were bombings occurred. Most Muslims denied responsibility, condemning the attack and many deaths. The explosion came from the vehicle packed with explosives, followed by 2 others, adding to the casualty figures could still rise. In the capital, rattled by restless bombing, Saturday attack was among the worst criticism had mounted over the lack of security and growing fears of even more violence as the US and NATO complete their final military withdrawal from Afghanistan. No. Look, I'm sorry if I sound like a fucking asshole, but no. Look, if Afghanistan citizens and people are really saying that they're scared that the United States is leaving Afghanistan, I find a hard time believing that. No. The United States has been there for years because we've been at war with them. And our military presence has stayed there. And now Joe Biden in our country is finally taking back our troops home? No. No, I'm sorry. No. I don't think the United States protects them. We were hurting them. A heavy military presence was in their country for so long, and now we're moving out because we had no right to be there. Well, because the war had finally ended. Okay, look, I'm not getting into that. Alright, whatever. Vatican City, a traditional Sunday remarks to the faithful in St. Peter's Square. Pope Francis citing the bombing. Let us pray for the victims of the terrorist attack in Kabul, an inhumane action that struck so many girls that they were coming out of school. He said, okay, may God give Afghanistan peace. Okay, the area has been hit by several incidents of violence targeting majority of Shiites, and most often claimed by the Islamic State affiliate operating the country. No one has claimed Saturday's bombings. In the same neighborhood in 2018, a school bombing killed 34 people, mostly students. In September 2018, a wrestling club was attacked, killing 24 people. And in May 2020, Maternity Hospital was brutally attacked, killing 24 people, including pregnant women and infants. And in October 2020, the Kausar-e-Danish tutoring center was attacked, killing 30 people. Most of the attacks were claimed by the Islamic State affiliate operating in Afghanistan. The radical Sunni Muslim group had declared war on Afghanistan's Shiites. I don't know. What is this? I think I have an idea. So, blah, 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 blah. Okay, got it. Washington blamed ISIS for a vicious attack last year in the Maternity Hospital in the same area that killed pregnant women and newborn babies. Soon after the bombing, angry crowd attacked ambulances and even beat health workers as they tried to evacuate the wounded. Health Ministry spokesperson Gul blah 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 blah. He had imposed residents to cooperate and allow ambulances free access to the site. The Interior Ministry spokesman blamed the attack on the Taliban despite their denials. Bloodied backpacks and school books lay strewn outside the school. In the morning, boys attended class in the Spilling School compound. In the afternoon, it's girls' turn. On Sunday, Hazara leaders from the Dasht-e-Barchi met to express their frustration with the government failure to protect ethnic Hazars, deciding to cobble together to protect together a protection force of their own from among the Hazara community. The force would be deployed outside schools, mosques, and public facilities that would cooperate with government security forces. The intention is to supplement the local forces, said Parliamentarian Gul Alam Hussein Nasir. Again, I am pronouncing these names so fucking wrong, dude. I am so sorry. The meeting participants decided there is not only one other way except for the people themselves to provide their own security along with the security forces. What? What? What do you mean? I'm pretty sure there's more you can do, said Nasir, who added that the government should provide local Hazars with weapons. What the okay. You know what? I'm not gonna... Alright, fine, that's fine. Syrian Hazars have been attacked in their schools, in their mosques, and it is their right to be upset. How many locals lose their loved ones? How many more attacks against the minority has to occur in this part of the city before something is done? One of the students fleeing the school recalled the attacks, the girls' screams, the girls, and the blood. I was with my classmate. We were leaving the school when suddenly an explosion happened. A 15-year-old Zafran, whose arm had been broken by a piece of shrapnel. Ugh. 10 minutes later, there was an explosion, and just a couple minutes later, blah blah. Okay, everyone was yelling, and there was blood everywhere, and I couldn't see anything clearly. Her friend died. Okay, bro. Okay. Okay. Most of the dozens injured brought to the emergency hospital for war wounded, the Afghan capital. Almost all the girls and young women between 12 and 20 years old, said Marco Putin, the hospital's program coordinator in Afghanistan. In a statement following the attack, the hospital has operated in Kabul since 2000. Said their first 3 months of this year had been 21% increase in war wounded, even as ISIS had been degraded in Afghanistan. According to the government and U.S. officials, it has stepped up in attacks, particularly against Shia Muslims and women workers. Okay, the attack comes days after the remaining 2,500 to 3,500 American troops officially began leaving the country. They will be out by September 11th at the latest. The pullout comes amid a resurgent Taliban who control or sway over half of Afghanistan. The U.S. top military official said Sunday that Afghanistan forces face an uncertain future and possibly some bad possible outcomes against Taliban insurgents and the withdrawal. Okay. Still, it's not right for the U.S. to have their troops there in their country still. Having our troops leave their country is a good thing. I'm sorry. That's what I believe. It's not right. I'm sorry. No matter how much the media wants to paint this as, and Republicans saying that it's bad that our American troops are leaving the country, no, it's not right. It's not. We were supposed to leave their country a long time ago.
Incredibly tough day for some families in Kabul, Afghanistan. Parents have been burying their children, many of them young girls, killed in a bombing attack outside of a school. At least 68 people have died. Our Charlie Dagada is there.
Yesterday, they were in school with their friends, preparing for their lives ahead. Innocent schoolgirls who were murdered in an act of unimaginable cruelty for daring to pursue an education. She was 15 years old and didn't miss a day of school, Ghulam Hussein said of his niece. We buried her here today. The Interior Ministry spokesman tells CBS News a car bomb exploded outside the entrance of the school just as the teenage girls were leaving class, followed by 2 more bombs planted in the area. The government blames the Taliban, which has denied involvement, but that part of Kabul has also been the frequent site of bombings by ISIS in Afghanistan, especially targeting schools. The massacre underlines the instability here as U.S. and international forces withdraw and Afghan security forces struggle to both contain militants on the battlefield and keep safe civilians in the cities.
Our front line is our mosques, they're our streets, they're our schools, they're our universities. Any place that the Taliban can attack is a front line for us now.
Parents burying their children today didn't send them to the front line. They sent them to school.
It's a tragic reality here in Afghanistan that attacks like this are not uncommon, but it comes at the end of an exceptionally violent week that's seen a surge in attacks from the moment the U.S. drawdown began. Jerika?
Charlie Dagada for us in Kabul. Thank you.
Jesus. Again, I don't care if the media and stuff are saying that, oh, suddenly attacks start happening more as the United States starts leaving their country. No. Again, we were supposed to leave their country a long time ago when the war ended, when, the United States was fighting ISIS and, Al-Qaeda and all that shit. We were supposed to leave a long time ago. I do not support having our military in their country. And it's a good thing that we're bringing those troops home. They were supposed to come home a long time ago. They've long overdone their stay. There is no need for them to be there. It's fucked up and it's sad what's happening there in their country. Obviously, no shit, I'm fucking covering it. If I didn't care, then I wouldn't fucking talk about it. But still, no. The U.S. doesn't belong there. We already caused enough trouble there. All right, there's no need. But we're gonna move on from this. Okay, I'm done with that. Okay, we're gonna talk about COVID. We're gonna talk a little bit about COVID. We're gonna move on to something, I don't know, not as, it's still horrible, but this is good news. All right, we're gonna move on to something lighter. We're gonna move on to Iowa, to the United States. All right, I saw this. I haven't read it, but I thought it was interesting. All right, Iowa's COVID-19 hospitalizations continue to decline, so this is good news. All right, remember when I said COVID is kind of getting better here? Yeah, here's an example. The Iowa Department of Public Health on Sunday reported 141 new cases of COVID-19 test positive and one additional death. At 10 a.m., the health department reported over 300,000 tests positive and over 300,000 total recoveries and 5,000 total over 5,000 total deaths since the start of the pandemic. 24 hours earlier, the health department reported over 300,000 total test positive and 5,000 total deaths. Iowa's reported 2 million COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered, and over 1 million vaccines individuals have completed the vaccine series. This is good news, dude. Again, get your fucking vaccine. Iowa's 14-day positive rate is at a 3.7%, and the 7-day average is now at 3.5%. The health department data shows over 400 million total tests have been administered. There are now 170 patients hospitalized with COVID-19, but down from 176 the previous day. Iowa reports 36 patients in the ICU and 12 patients on ventilators. One of Iowa's long-term care facilities report an active COVID-19 outbreak, and the health department reports 19 positive cases and 17 recoveries among residents and staff within the facility. The state reports over 2,000 care facility deaths since the pandemic began. Iowa's Department of Health offers the virus data in real time on this website. Okay. I think this is good news. Obviously, people are still getting COVID, and there's this one additional death here. But I see it as good news. Oh my God, girl, you are so loud. I think it's a good thing. All right, it's little things like this that matter. It's progress like this that shows that COVID is slowly getting better here. All right, this is all I wanted to talk about. This is very short, but this was just, okay, whatever. I'll hear you talk, lady.
All of their allocated COVID-19 doses as demand slows down. Next week, only Monona and Emmett counties are requesting their full allotments. All other counties are asking for reduced amounts. The Iowa Department of Public Health reports more than 1.1 million people in the state have completed all required doses. Nearly 2.5 million doses have been administered.
This is good news. Right? That's it. That's all I have to say on that. I just wanted to sprinkle in, I don't know, the tiny bit of good news, because we all know this is fucking depressing. Now's the part of this stream where we do the Twitter browse and we look through Twitter and we try to find news stories. Yeah, and so now I'm gonna try to find news stories happening today, because all the stories I read you happened yesterday. What the fuck is happening here? The Biden administration reinstates discrimination. This is good. Oh, fuck, I have to look into this now. I'll look into this in a bit. I want to finish this. Okay, I fucking love John Mulaney, but not right now. Who the fuck is Anthony? People confuse me from does it. Oh, okay, just people appreciating this guy, I guess. I don't know who he is, unfortunately. Californians, oh shit. California Governor Gavin Newsom has proposed a $100 billion economy recovery package. The centerpiece goal goes on different catchphrases Californians. I thought he was already doing this. Wasn't he giving like $600 checks to Californians? Blah blah. It's possible. Blah blah. But opponents say it's a publicity stunt by Newsom, who faces a recall vote. Bitch, he was already doing this. Wait. Okay, billions of Californians will get a tax rebates up to Okay, okay, blah blah. Okay, bro. Okay, this is something else. Okay, okay, this is something else. Okay, we'll look into this, okay? We'll look into this cuz I live in California and I give a shit. Bro, I am not saying Gavin Newsom's a good fucking governor. Look, I have my opinions about him. He's not the greatest. He's not good. He's okay. But there are some things I disagree with him on, but I'm not going to talk about that. But bro, like, wasn't he already giving Californians $600 checks? Okay, we'll look into this, but let me set it up. I'm gonna set up more stuff. People react to the actor, blah blah, say she went totally off the rails. Okay, I don't know who that is. 71% of Americans. Oh no, what is this? Biden's overall prudent. Okay, when it comes to new Democratic president's handlings of the pandemic, 71% of Americans approve, including 47% of Republicans. 54% say the country is on the right track. I mean, it is. I mean, obviously, you could always do more, but so far, Biden's handling and the Biden administration's handling on COVID isn't that bad. We're doing pretty good. I think the United States is one of the only countries that could confidently say we did a good job on vaccine rollout, and they're continuing to do a good job on vaccine rollout, which is good. I mean, I'm not going to criticize them on what they're doing for COVID. They're doing good. They're not doing bad. I mean, no criticisms from me, really. I'm proud to be one of the 71% of Americans who approve the job President Biden has done to address the pandemic and doing my part by masking up and vaccinating. Yeah. What is this? Clang went Josh Hawley. What the fuck? Why the fuck are people talking about Josh Hawley? What did he do this time? If you don't know who Josh Hawley is, he's basically a Republican asshole. That's all you need to know. Oh, blah. Next up, Crazy Town. What is this? What is this? Oh, no. What is this?
Joining me now is a man who's been canceled more times than my subscription to Aaron Carter's OnlyFans paid.
Oh, no, bro. Oh, no, bro. This is gonna be so cringy. What is this, bro? I don't want to watch this. This looks hella cringy. Okay, dude, give it to me.
Republican Senator from Missouri, Josh Hawley. Hey, girl.
Well, thanks for having me. It's great to be with you. You know, I grew up in...
Okay, let's cut the shit. You objected to the Electoral College certification. You voted no on an anti-Asian hate crimes bill. But perhaps what you're most hated for is fist-pumping those violent Trump supporters on January 6th in a photo that went viral, making yours the most famous fist in the Senate.
Bro, I don't care about this. What is this bullshit? What is this? People are just talking about this? Okay, bro, I don't care about this. I don't care. It's not even funny. Okay. Cancel culture. Oh, no. What is this? Cancel culture. What? What is this? Okay, I don't care about that. Okay. We already saw this. Defund, not reform. On what is this? What is this? Okay, PD. Okay. Officials are already clocking overtime during protests, and now they want to make sure their bellies are full. People will stay hungry. We reject the proposal of an additional 64. What the fuck? Huh? What? What's happening? Okay, I don't know anything about this, so I'm not going to talk about it. Okay, I'm done with that. I don't know what the fuck that was. I'll probably look into that in my own time. I'm done, bro. I don't even know what the fuck that is, dude. Why the fuck is Ben Shapiro here? No, no, no. How dare you? My entire night trying to Photoshop Ethan Winters from Resident Evil into Ben Shapiro. Why the fuck would you do that for? Don't disrespect my man Ethan Winters like that. Don't ever do that. You're disgusting. You should be banned from the country. Don't ever disrespect my man Ethan Winters like that ever again. The fuck is wrong with you, crazy ass? Okay, bro. I don't know what this is. Okay, I'm bored. I'm bored. Okay. I'm still trying to gather shit. Alright. Be patient, kids. The Senate. Okay, what is this? The Senate is blah, blah. Okay, I don't want to talk about that right now. Okay, about 10% of New York shelter residents have been vaccinated. That's good. No. What is this? Biden says no evidence Russia involved in the U.S. pipeline hack. Putin should have... Okay. Russia's like a whole different story. U.S. officials suspect a notorious Russian spy agency may be behind the alleged attacks that are causing health issues among the U.S. government personnel across the world. Okay, I'm not gonna get into that fucking rabbit hole. No thank you. I'm good, bro. I don't want to right now. We really saw that. South Africa warns of vaccine. Which country? Okay. Again, I'm just skimming past this shit. The Americans are dismantling their portion of India by blah blah. Anything that are not taking home or giving to our military, they destroy completely as possible. Okay, bro. I'm not getting into that. That's a whole fucking different thing. Like, bro, almost to every situation, there's different layers. And I don't want to look into it. Okay. Okay, there's nothing really interesting, so we'll look here. How Liz Cheney lost Republican support. Okay, bro, I don't give a fuck about Liz Cheney. I'm gonna be honest. I do not care about her. She's an asshole, that's it. And apparently Republicans don't even like her anymore because she was like... I don't know what she did. I think she was going against Trump, even though, like, she supported him for a while, and then she just flips it around and is like, yeah, Donald Trump bad, and Republicans were just like, meh, and they got upset. As far as 100, Jesus Christ, okay, I'm not, I already talked about it, I'm sorry. Yeah, look, yeah, California, they're already giving stimulus checks. Okay, bro, what's happening? What the fuck? Okay, bro. Reports 100 variant cases. Oh my god! Oh my god! Are we surprised? Are we surprised, bro? Are we fucking surprised? No, we are not. It's fucking Florida. Didn't the other day when fucking Caitlyn Jenner was on that Fox exclusive interview with Hannity on Fox, and she said that Florida was doing very well with COVID? Yeah, okay, dude. You know, it's awful. It's horrible. Oh, I'm so sad. But, like, bro, are we surprised? No, we are not. We are not surprised by this. Okay, we already talked about this. Bill Gates known for womanizing. Bro, I don't care. Okay, we're gonna read this, okay? Bro, I don't want your offer. Leave me alone. Okay, dude. Okay, California governor proposes $100 billion recovery package. Let's see this shit. California Governor Gavin Newsom said he plans to use massive tax collection windfall to help finance $100 billion economic recovery package, with the centerpiece proposal to give $11.9 billion of direct cash to payments of most Californians. The payment would build on a previous program distributing $600 checks to qualifying low-income residents by expanding eligibility to middle class. Okay, so yeah, I was right, because wasn't he already giving like $600 checks, but that was just for low-income residences, and now they're expanding it to middle-class citizens. I don't know why they didn't do that before. That should have been done before, but whatever. 2 out of 3 Californians would receive a check of at least $600, with families and children receiving an additional $500. It would create the biggest state tax debate on record, Newsom said Monday at a press conference in Oakland. We believe people are better suited than we are to make determinations for themselves on how best to use these dollars, Newsom said. The Democratic governor is seizing an unprecedented $75 billion operating budget surplus fueled by a surging economy and capital gains taxes. To greatly expand the state's role in recovery, just as he is facing a potential recall later this year. The windfall leaves Newsom and lawmakers with $38 billion extra to spend as they see fit, since some of the money is already earmarked. Okay, the state will get an estimated $27 billion from President Joe Biden's stimulus plan, according to the latest Treasury figures. Newsom's plan would also spend $5.2 billion on what he said would be the largest rental assistance package in the country. It would allow low-income residents to cover their back rent and pay their rent for several months in the future. It also spends $2 billion to recover overdue water and utility bills. Okay, excess revenue. Newsom will spend the next week highlighting parts of the package he built for California Comeback Plan. He's required to present a received budget for the final year by May 14th deadline. Okay. Damn, this shit's kind of long, not gonna lie. Okay, the announcement underscored an improved financial picture in most of the populous U.S. state. Okay. Which by last May grifted for blah. Okay, with the progressive tax system that rakes the most revenue when income is at the highest, earning rises, has collected more than it expected from its wealthiest residents. The group has reaped the benefits of rising stock prices and stable unemployment as lower income workers just lost their jobs in the pandemic. Yeah, this makes sense, dude. Remember when we were talking about how in the pandemic, wealthy people were just getting more wealthy and poor workers were just losing their jobs and shit and like getting evicted from their fucking houses? The checks may satisfy a requirement being triggered for the first time since 1986. The excess revenue be returned to taxpayers. Yeah, dude, again, this isn't a surprise. That's your money. That's your taxpayer money. The vote approved state operations limit. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay. When is this going to happen, though? So as mandated the right proposal, blah, blah. Or listen, okay. Okay. To taxpayers earning less than $75,000 a year is more than qualified to fulfill it. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. California came into the pandemic in a good, blah, blah. It's like, okay. Oh. Guys. We saw it. The paywall. Now's our time to abort the mission. We're gonna move on to this one. Okay, I wanna get more information on this. That's why I'm reading 2 articles. Okay, millions of poor and middle class Californians would get tax rebates up to $1,100 under a proposal, blah blah. Okay, taxpayers making between $30,000 to $75,000 a year would get a $600 payment. Households making up to $75,000 with at least one child, including immigrants in the country illegally who file taxes, will get an extra $500 payment. I love how they had to say that in here. Remember, kids, always paint immigrants as monsters. That's how you win as a Republican. We believe people are getting sued in, blah, blah. Let's use dollars, blah, blah. Okay. The massive budgets, blah, blah. Is largely due, the massive budget surplus is largely due to the taxes paid by rich Californians who genuinely did well during the pandemic and marks a major turnaround around officials last year. See, dude, this is why taxing the rich is fucking great. Tax the rich, dude. Tax the fucking rich. I will repeat that until I die. Tax the fucking rich. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if people get mad at me. Tax the fucking rich. I don't know how that's a controversial statement. Okay, the payments will a total of blah blah. Okay, blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. We already read some part of this. A law passed by voters in the 1970s required the state to give some money back to the taxpayers if the surplus hits a certain limit. The state's estimate would be $16 billion over that threshold. Newsom said not to act immediately, but choosing to do tax rebates now. Yeah. It comes blah 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 blah. Yeah. The governor's got a lot of money to hand out, and of course he's worried about his own neck. Cox said in the campaign. Yeah, isn't he running for governor, right? He's a Republican. What's his name? Businessman John Cox. Yeah, I heard of him. This motherfucker. Let's see what he looks like. I don't know what he looks like. I just heard the name before. Okay. What does he look like? Ugh. American businessman. Ugh. And political activist. Republican Party. Ugh. It is not looking good for you, my guy. So he's running for... He's one of the few Republicans that are running in the recall election for governor of California. So we have John Cox, Caitlyn Jenner, Gavin Newsom, and I don't know who the fuck the other ones are, right? I forgot. I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. He's worried about his own neck. Wouldn't you? What do you mean he's out? Of course he is, dumbass. You would be too. He and Kevin Ball, another Republican candidate. Oh, who is this one? Kevin Faulconer? I never heard of this man. Who are you? A former mayor of San Diego. Oof, bro, if you ever been to San Diego and you're like a person of color, it's tough. Good luck. Republican Party. Okay, of course you're a Republican. Alright, so we got Kevin, Mr. Cox, Ms. Jenner, and Gavin Newsom. Please tell me the rest of the candidates. I will not remember. California needs permanent tax relief, not just one stimulus check, said former Senator. Okay, blah, 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 blah. What do you suggest they need then, mister? It's the second round for cash payments given by the state in response to the pandemic. Earlier this year, people making less than $30,000 got a $600 check. Immigrants making up to $75,000 who file taxes, including those living in the country illegally. So, immigrants also got checks. State officials chose a higher eligibility limit for those people because they didn't get federal stimulus checks. Yeah, we know. Yeah, weren't people saying that Joe Biden or some shit, like when they were doing when we were getting the stimulus checks from Joe Biden, that one, I remember Republicans were saying like, Joe Biden's giving stimulus checks to immigrants, when it's like, bro, that wasn't fucking true. What are you talking about, dude? That is not true. All right. Joe Biden is not as progressive as people may think he is. He's like a moderate. But that's how I would see him. Democratic Assembly Phil Ting, the chamber's chair, budget chair, said the state has the ability to help the neediest people because of how well wealthier Californians did during the pandemic. The state's budget relies heavily on the personal income tax from high earners, so rich people. The budget surpluses its right to come back to the most vulnerable Californians, the ones who need help the most, he said. Yeah, no shit, dude. This is basic common human fucking decency that so many states struggle to do, which is fucking insane. Yeah, dude, fuck it. Tax the rich. This is not a surprise. We should tax the rich a long time ago, dude. Alright, we're done with that. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Bro, I think I'm done with this. Like, dead ass, I think I'm done with this. Republican led, blah, 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 blah. This is all the news that I have, so I think that's it. Usually, after my streams, I would do some, like, I would do some, like, reaction shit, and we'd react to some, like, Catch a Predator videos or something, but today I'm expecting a phone call from somebody, and I have to be ready for that. So I'm going to end the stream early today. This is a really short stream. I'm sorry, but we talked about the news I cared about. We did all that, and I'm going to end the stream for now. I stream again on Wednesday at 12:30, so stick around for that, and I hope to see you again. If you're watching, follow the channel, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Stick around for the next stream that's happening on Wednesday. We're going to do more news, and I'm going to have more time, so we're going to watch some videos. Good stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.